Good afternoon, everybody. Phil Simons with Columbia Grain here in your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, we are going to wrap up the week here, but let's go ahead and take a look and see what actually happened on the week. We did have a little bit of fireworks yesterday as there were some reports coming from a cargo ship that apparently hit a sea mine on its way to Ukraine, but it was able to actually continue on with little to no damage. But again, we did see the grain complex as a whole really did get kind of rocked by that news. But then again, today, we did take pretty much all those gains back away from what we saw yesterday. So I'm going to share my screen with you again here, and let's go ahead and take a look and see what we actually wound the week up with. But if we navigate to our favorite website once again, columbiagrain.com, and in the upper right hand corner, go navigate to the Producer Solutions link. Take a look and see what actually happened here this week. But again, really the big news that did move markets around here yesterday was the report of a vessel, a cargo vessel that was on its way to Ukraine, was actually did strike a sea mine. So we did see the markets really kind of get jolted from that. But really today, once all the dust settled here today, we actually had some pretty decent ranges on the week again. But when we closed everything out, not a whole heck of a lot to report, quite honestly. New crop wheat, DC wheat, we actually had a weekly range of 23 cents. The weekly change was we actually gained 15 cents on the week there. In soybeans, we actually had a 31-cent trading range. We actually took a net loss on the week, down 6 cents in new crop beans. Take a look at the wheat complex. Kansas wheat had an overall range of 29 cents. Actually able to close out the week with a gain of 9 cents week on week after taking a little bit back out of the markets here today. In Chicago wheat, we saw the weekly range up at 39 cents. The weekly change was actually up by 23 cents week on week. And last up, Minneapolis, we see the range there was 29 cents. And the weekly change was a gain of 12 cents over in Minneapolis as well. Again, we continue to take a look at what the export sales numbers continue to tell us on a week-to-week basis. This past week, they were actually fairly decent for corn, coming in at 71.5 million bushels for last week's sales. Primarily to Mexico was a big destination there. Next up, when we take a look at soybeans, 29.7 million bushels, really kind of at the lower end of the estimates in terms of where we would like to see them at. And wheat definitely kind of down more towards the bottom end of the range from what we were anticipating to see total exports at. But we did see durum with 700,000 bushels of exports, spring wheat at 6.1, winter wheat at 1.3, soft red at 1, and soft white at 0.9 million. Interesting thing, we did see a flash this week of, I think it was 220,000 tons of soft red winter wheat that was headed to China or sold to China over the week here. So that was definitely nice to see some potential more demand coming from that standpoint. But again, really the markets are just kind of in a state of flux, just trying to figure out which way that we really want to continue to go here as we move forward. We definitely have some harvest pressure in corn and beans that's going to continue to put a little bit of a lid to the markets as we continue to move forward here. So be sure to get your orders out there and working, from hedge to arrive orders, basis orders, and just straight up cash orders. Take a look at some of our accumulator contracts as well. May want to take a look at some minimum price contracts too, with just the amount of gas that we've taken out of the futures markets here recently. But be sure to get a hold of your local Columbia Grain merchandiser along with your buyers and get your orders out there and working, and take a look at all the different options that we have through our Columbia Producer Solutions. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and wrap everything up for the week here. Everybody have a great weekend. And remember, the best way to create a small fortune is to start with a big one. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.